Morning. It is 8 o'clock on the dot on a Sunday morning, a beautiful Sunday morning, may I add. It is September the 3rd. I'm WESH 2 First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris. This is Coffee Talk. We get together 7 days a week. We chat about what's going on in the world of weather, see what's doing in your neighborhood, and just overall try to enjoy the weather and track the weather and be updated on said weather. A live look outside. Hey, that's a nice look. Daytona Beach, our tower cam shot taking us over there. And listen, I mean, I'm not at the beach, but I certainly would like to be. New Smyrna Beach, let's check in on you. Oh, I mean, come on. How can you have anything but an unbelievable morning when you've got a shot that looks like this? Seriously. Seriously. Right? Yeah. What are you doing this morning, Carol? Janice, Yukon, good morning. Don, Lori, Trina, good morning to y'all. So it's a beautiful start to the day, obviously. Let's take a live look at our first warning Doppler radar. Now, that stuff from the radar bottom left, that's just interference and stuff. Pay no mind to that. But as the interference starts to fade away, we can at least track some of these showers that are moving through. We kind of see it West Volusia there. I'll switch over to the Melbourne radar to at least get rid of the interference. And this is why you have different radars. Because, for example, the Melbourne radar gives us a good look at these showers in the metro area moving through, right? Whereas the Melbourne radar is showing a bunch of interference by it. And I switch over to our WESH radar, and we can clearly watch those showers kind of sneaking on through. So there you go. Some showers here or there. Lovely morning otherwise. Upper 70s, lower 80s for most of us. Though look north and west of town, right? Like lower 70s over there in the villages in Ocala. I love that. So here's our 12-hour forecast, okay? Forecast today includes a couple of showers, 10%, 20% chance of rain. High temperatures in the upper range of the 80s. It's not a bad day. Not a bad day at all. Yeah, I like it. See. A disclaimer at the beginning. I know you'll be giving some love language to us today because we've seen you give it to Christina. Oh, you, especially to you, Yukon. You bring it right out of me. Right out of me. That's okay. Have I had all my coffee? Hold on a second. I'm like, did I have all my coffee? This is a bad day if I just ran out of coffee. We're good, though. We're good. We're good. You good? I'm good. We good. All right. So anyway, today looks good. A nice firm breeze is going to help to bring in a couple of those passing showers. In terms of temperatures, watch as we go. Upper 80s across the interior, mid 80s back over to the beaches, and winds running 10, 15 or so miles an hour. So really not bad at all. Forecast for us the next couple of days, because of high pressure kind of holding the way that it is, we're going to keep that gorgeous onshore breeze with us. So the next couple of days, it'll feel good, but we're not in summer anymore, but without rain each day, things are going to start to get warmer and warmer and warmer. So looking ahead to this week, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, the heat does build. We're not necessarily talking records, but it's going to start to get toastier. 93 on Wednesday, 94 on Thursday, Friday. Not records at all, but warm temperatures indeed for Central Florida. So that's kind of where we're at. If you're heading to the beach today, looks fantastic. If you're going out to play a round of golf this morning, it's fantastic. 88 degrees, an isolated shower here or there. If you're heading out to the attractions, Universal Studios, beautiful day to go out there and ride the movies. I don't think that's their shtick anymore, but I always will remember it as that. Just a couple of clouds over top of us, a few isolated showers. Halloween Horror Nights forecast next couple of days looking just beautiful. And we do have a rocket launch. Got to make sure to mention that tonight at about 7:30. Give or take, kind of depending on what SpaceX decides to do. I think we're going to be looking great. 90% chance of good weather for that. So that's kind of where we're at. Any questions, comments, concerns about our local forecast whatsoever? Anybody have anything? Here's the 7-day forecast, just so that we can make sure to chat. Getting warmer the next couple of days. It's beautiful. Just beautiful. Labor Day, looking gorgeous. Whatever your plans are this week, just know that we're going to be we're not getting like full on back to summer, but like we're going to be inching that direction. So, yeah. All right. Any questions before we move on to the tropics? Because I know that's why y'all are here. I get it. And that's what I'm here to talk about as well. Don't you worry about. I want to be where the people are. There you go, Taylor. Oh, man. Can I come mow your yard? No. No. I've got Disney on Ice today with the kids, which that'll be fun. Oh, man. When do we start to cool off more into fall weather? So, October is really moving month. Mid to late October is when we start to get those hints, those little hints of cooler temperatures. Yeah. Yeah, you've got the cooties right now, Taylor. That's okay. Just get feeling better. I don't want to be where the people are either, and generally. I'm not as I just like to be alone. Is that bad? Like I want to when we were flying the other day, I was seeing a lot of these communities, these more rural communities, and I was just kind of like, yeah, that's my retirement goal. Like live on the beach away from the people. That's all. Yeah. Anyway. Oh, thank you, Daniel. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. Joanne says, bringing the cooler weather ASAP. Just wishing. I know. If I could, I would. If I could, I would. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the tropics and see what's doing. Okay. There are 3 areas out there that we are watching right now, 2 of which are tropical named systems. The first one, actually, look at that. There's a third, or a fourth. There's a fourth that just popped up. Okay. So I have to update this because I've not seen this new update from the Hurricane Center. Okay, so we've got Gert there at the center of your screen. We've got Katia. There's a new wave about to roll off the coast of Africa. Could support some subtle development. That area in yellow, a 20% likelihood of formation. And then the area highlighted in red. Yes, the area highlighted in red. I'm going to have to update it because the Hurricane Center just updated this literally right before I came on to Coffee Talk. So I'm going to type it in and then I'll tell you. But I'll tell you this right now. Development chances are rising. Got that, save. Okay, all right. So this is Invest 95. Invest 95 is getting better organized. Just look at it on the satellite presentation, for example. I mean, that counterclockwise spin is there. It's certainly there. I think that this is going to develop into a tropical system in the next couple of days. It's definitely become better organized, and a tropical depression, according to the Hurricane Center, a tropical depression is likely to form around midweek as it moves west-northwest 15 to 20 miles an hour over the central and western portions of the tropical Atlantic. So now a medium 40% likelihood in 2 days' time and a high 80% likelihood of development over the next 7 days' time. This is going to be the next thing that we're going to have to watch. Given the fact that it's kind of a bit of a slower burn. If it was to rapidly intensify now, bloop, it would recurve, and nothing would make me happier than that. But because it's going to take a little bit longer to intensify, moving past 90 degrees, I think it'll keep that west-northwest direction. Here's the intensity model forecasts, and you see very clearly today, tomorrow, even Tuesday, they're just kind of staying status quo. It's trying to organize. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the intensity models do try to develop it. So there it is. Plenty of time to watch it. Again, we're going to do that, but we just need to kind of have that idea dialed in that once again, we play our dangerous game, as Sean Connery would say. Next name on the list, by the way, is Lee, should this system decide to try and develop. And a lot of people were asking, as I was showing this morning, I was getting a few people like messaging me on the Twitter or whatever it's called now, X, and they were like, okay, so if it forms midweek, how far would that be from land? And remember, we don't have this dialed in, and I'll show you the raw models, of course, but how far is it from land? So based on kind of a normal trajectory and a normal timeline, even if it were to develop kind of at the end of the window right in here, right? If you follow the colors, that still gives you about a week's time before it would make its way toward the United States coastline if it's heading that direction. So there's still plenty of time to track it. We're certainly tracking it, certainly watching it. but that's something that we should be watching closely over the next couple of weeks' time. And we are. And I don't want you to confuse coverage with hype. Hype means it's going to come get us and it should be scary. Coverage means, hey, let's watch this and I'll let you know. Well, you do it for ratings. What? We want people to watch. We just do the weather. When it's cold outside, we don't invent stuff to talk about. We just talk about the things. But you do it for ratings. Bro, we do everything for ratings. Hashtag, we are a television station. But we don't hype things for ratings because that goes against every bit of our morals. Okay, good times. Anybody that's new here is like, oh my God, this guy needs to chill out. What are the chances of it fizzling out? I mean, it hasn't even developed yet. So it's possible that it could fall apart. Yeah, it's possible that it becomes a hurricane too. And what's interesting is that a lot of the global models are going like completely bonkers on this thing getting pretty strong. So, you know, we'll have to see how time plays it out. But one thing that we can do, of course, is we can look at the raw computer models. And let's just roll through time here. This is the raw GFS model. All right. Doing its thing. Pressure starting to drop, getting into the Caribbean. Let me zoom into the Caribbean view. And there it is in the bottom right corner of your screen. There it is. Latest version. Kind of bring it, if you notice, bringing it very near the northern shore there of Puerto Rico. All right. In terms of wind, you know, you're looking at like what? Tropical storm. And then lifting to the north, becoming a hurricane right there around September 12th, and then recurving and staying off our shoreline. But that's a hurricane. Not a major one, but that's a hurricane off our shoreline. So that's the current run of the GFS. Let's go and look one run back. And it's kind of got like a little tropical depression east of us. All right, let's go two back. And doesn't really have much. Like you can kind of see it there and then dies over like Hispaniola. All right, let's go three back. It's got something over Hispaniola and then a weak something right there around like the Bahamas, but not even a depression. And then we go four back and it's got, that's winds of 103 miles an hour. So, the GFS is trying to dial in on something. Whether or not it sticks is something to be seen. Let's go to the European model. All right. Let's go as far out as the Euro can go. Go to the 00Z, and at least it can go a little bit further. There it is. And that's 130. That's a major hurricane right there. So the Euro is absolutely stronger. I mean, that's 106. Is that 163, 169? I mean, it's going like that's a 167. That's a wicked storm that the Euro is showing. 150. So big difference between the GFS and the European is that the European is going like completely wicked strong, whereas the GFS is weaker. So that's interesting. And if we continue that through the control model, recurves it. All right, now let's do this. Let's come back to the beginning and let's switch over to GFS ensembles. And if you're not familiar with what an ensemble is, think of this as like 51 flavors of the GFS. It's just different versions of the GFS. And we kind of put them over top of each other. You can see here all the lows. Those are all the versions, the ensemble players that are all kind of showing. And most of the GFS members are keeping it recurving, keeping it east of us. So that's a good sign. I wouldn't mind that at all. If we look over at the European ensembles, there are more European models, which is why you see more circles. They're pretty much all recurving, and I'm just looking. It doesn't look like at the moment any of them are bringing it to Florida. So that's fine. Look, I don't want to get hit again in Florida. It looks like a couple of them. You can kind of see there at the end of the loop. So there's a little bit of that, but not too much. So I would just definitely say when it comes to the tropics, my friends, we just need to watch this little area coming off the coast of Africa. Okay. Questions, comments, concerns about it? Anything? Yukon says recurve, please. Oh yeah, that's what I want. That's what I want. Melissa, heading to Bermuda Saturday. I just need to make it there to see the island Tuesday, and then I can stay out to see. Oh yeah, yeah. Willie, thank you. Listen, trolls are trolls. Yeah, trolls are trolls. That's okay. Lauren is asking, are you confident with the recurve? No, I'm not confident with anything yet. Forecast is just starting to come into focus. I know that there's going to be an area of low. I knew back in March that there was going to be an area of low pressure in this vicinity. Does it make a landfall? Does it stay off the shoreline? That I don't know. We'll have to watch and see how it plays out. JDY San 116. Is it possible for 95L to hit the United States mainland? It's possible. The models are not showing that, but it's possible. So let's watch and see. Oh, but you're hyping it. No, I'm doing my job. Doing my job. Oh, man. It's going to be a Cat 6 for sure. I know, Charles, right? Good gravy. Lamb Leslie. I'm glad he spoke to the negative comments because there's been quite a few lately. Yeah, well, listen. You can't have the internet without trolls, apparently. So it's fine. We'll do our thing. We're still good. Listen, for those of you that are new to join us, I just give it to you straight. And when it's winter and the weather's cool, we still talk about the weather every single day. When the weather is busy, we talk about the weather every single day. So this is a year-round thing, and we do this 7 days a week. Am I a pathetic loser? Yes, a little bit. Florida has enough Instagram models. We don't need any computer models doing anything crazy. Steven, I gotcha. I gotcha. 100% agreed. Yes, sir. Point taken. It is what it is. You cannot control Mother Nature. That is a true fact. That's correct. That's correct. If you don't like the weather, this isn't the place for you. Yeah, well, that's true also, Nancy. Unless you just want to troll. And if that's the case, I just block you. And then goodbye. Bye-bye. You know. So any questions about it? Anybody, anything? Trolls show up to bring you down. They don't, yeah, they can try. They're not going to bring me down. Listen, I'm doing my thing. I'm doing my thing. Oh, man. What are the Canadian models doing? Oh, I didn't show them, did I? All right, hold on a second. Listen, I'm half asleep. We had Jim Payne's going away thing last night, and we were all up a little later than we would have liked. Canadian, give me a second. Wind gust, okay. All right, so there's the Canadian. Yeah, keeping it off the East Coast. Let's go back one model run. A weaker 2 model runs. It's there. 3 model runs. It's there. So interestingly enough, like all of the models are showing something, right? It's just a matter of where. Let's look at the Canadian Ensemble. Yeah, I mean there it is. Some of the Canadians though do bring it closer to us. Most of the model consensus is off the shoreline. So I mean, look, that's what I'm cheering for. Like I would love nothing more than to go stand at the beach with a microphone and be like, this is Eric Burst reporting live, West 2. You can see the surf picking up. Insert surfer name here, out there enjoying. He says he comes out every time the surf gets rough, but the good news is he's a very strong swimmer. Then they take a soundbite, and then I come back out and I say, so Bill's out there, or excuse me, insert surfer name is out there playing. The rest of us should probably stay on the sand because the surf is pretty rough. That's the very latest live from insert beach name here. I'm West 2, first morning meteorologist Eric Burris, West 2 News. That's what I would love to do. I don't want to be here doing 1,000 hours of news coverage. So as long as these now, the Canadian definitely has more of their ensemble members kind of sneaking a little closer to us. I don't like that, but, you know, we'll watch. We'll see. Where has the recycle of Nicole gone to over the year? It's always been close to the shoreline. How close or how far? Yeah, I mean, like the February one brought showers to the Daytona 500. So, you know, I'd love to be in once in a while reporter for West during the storms at the beach. Yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to stand in a hurricane. Yukon says, interview the crazies at the beach. Listen. Need to buy more pumpkin spice before the next storm hits. My house smells like a pumpkin pie right now. I got the fall scents in. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. They should have you give live footage during the hurricane. They do. It's called weather forecasts. I do a ton of them. A ton of them. Keep us posted. You know I will. You know I will. Got several family members in Naples, and they've just finished remodeling. Do you think they'll be okay there? At the moment, they look okay. Let's hope that continues. Yeah, exactly, Frank. Where's Dave? You remember which one, though? Palm Tree Dave or Jeep Dave? Right? But, oh my gosh, was that Irma? Was Irma the storm that we had him? Man. Brian, when the hurricane hunters fly into tropical system, what kind of data are they looking for, and what data do they use to determine strength and intensity? Yeah, it's a good question. So, I mean, from tail Doppler radar to SFMR, which is like a wind estimate machine, basically. They drop dropsondes down to get pressures. There's a bunch of different dynamics. Upper air flights will survey kind of the atmosphere around the storm and ahead of the storm. There's a lot of things like that. Yeah. I remember your weather hit outside in the rain. I've done a few. Bradley, you remember Boat Dave, Palm Tree Dave, Bradley? Bradley Bauer, by the way, used to work here at the television station. Feels like yesterday, but in reality, it's probably been a good long while since you've left, sir. Bradley marched the Cadets Drum and Bugle Corps. Handsome son of a gun and darn good at his job, which makes me sad that he left. And funny as could be. You remember Boat Dave, though, Brad. You remember Boat Dave, Mr. Bradley. Are there any storms you think Florida's a threat? I would say this one here, Invest 95, is at least something that we need to watch because, look, here's the 6Z GFS. And I mean, I already showed it to you, but I'll show it to you in the weather system and it'll look a little prettier. But I just I don't feel like clicking the other button. So you're going to get it in the weather system. But like that is a little close for comfort. Now, the GFS is wanting to recurve it. Super good. I'm fine with that. But that's the GFS on Tuesday, September 12th. One run, one model. I get it. But that's that. You know, you go back to the 0Z model. It's not much different. Let me just scroll right through. Like, it's weaker, but it's got something around. So the models are going to try and dial in on this, and that's to be expected. But for us, this is the next thing that we're going to need to watch. All right. How close do hurricane hunters usually start flying in it once it comes off Africa? It needs to be close enough that they can go into it, spend some time in it, and then fly back. So it's all about fuel at that point. Scott says, I will report live from my cruise ship next week for you, live in the Atlantic. I just hope that you don't get into any inclement weather. That's all. So, all right. I know I've got a cut-in coming up here in a couple of minutes. Any other questions, comments, concerns, friends? If you're new to Coffee Talk, we do this 7 days a week. In the morning at 8 a.m., 5 days a week. During the week, we do it at 3:30 as well. We track the tropics. We look raw model data, and we have a discussion. And I get schmucky with schmucky people. You know, it's just kind of fun. Thank you very much, Sherry. I appreciate it, my dear. Sherry, very much. Chris, he's trying to tell you that the forecast predicts an East Coast landfall. I would say it's just a storm system that will be near the East Coast. I'm not going to say I'm forecasting an East Coast landfall, but it's a hot spot, so we'll have to watch that. All right? Troy's asking about the BSR. The BSR has a storm system around in those dates, yes. I don't have it dialed up on this system, but yes, the BSR does have a storm system around Florida on those dates. All right? All right. I got to go. How much time? Oh, heck, I'm in at 40. All right. Be the sunshine in someone else's day. Thank you for hanging out for Coffee Talk. I will see you guys and gals tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. for Coffee Talk. Be good.